So, my show is called Above It All. And what does that mean? Well, it means that I'm better than most people, and especially people like Candace Owens, everybody. So, Candace Owens was caught. Was she really caught? No, because she did this on purpose. She just wanted to manufacture attention, and here I am giving it to her, but hey, whatever. Candace Owens was caught calling transgender people demonic in this viral clip. Let's watch.
The Trans Lives Matter protesters decided to occupy the Oklahoma Capitol building to fight GOP bills that ban gender-conforming surgery for people that are under the age of 21. So, that, of course, that should be banned if you're under the age of 21. You should not be, honestly.
So, again, a year ago, Candace Owens, under 16. Then it was under 18. Now it's under 21. And now...
should never be allowed. I would go a little further. Oklahoma, if you really want to do something, just ban it altogether. But trans people were very upset, and they decided to storm the Capitol building.
So a lot of people on the right are pretending like this is a January 6th analog. It's not, okay? It's just a simple protest, right? Why was January 6th so bad, right? It's not because they were protesting, right? It's because they went into office buildings, started shitting everywhere, and tried to assassinate politicians. So this protest that's being referred to here, none of that happened. It was just a protest, right? But again, Republicans are fucking stupid. They don't understand what the bad parts of January 6th was. If they wanted to scream and cry outside about Donald Trump the whole time, let them. It's entertainment as far as I'm concerned. I got my popcorn. I was ready to watch the show. But the moment they go in and try to kill people, that's the problem. Transgender people in Oklahoma did not do that, of course. And so therefore, this is a false equivalency.
Take a look. So I'm just going to come right out and say this because it needs to be said. I have such great contempt for trans individuals and everything that they are doing right now in our society.
I mean, I don't even know what to tell you. I mean, it's funny. Like, oh, she has great contempt for the transgenders. Wow. The feeling is mutual, my friend.
To me, I've yet to meet a trans person that I thought was a good individual. Go ahead, you can use that clip verbatim, circulate it, George Soros and your goons, because somebody needs to say it. This has gone on far enough, right? They are hateful and
like, okay, someone needs to say it. Say what? That you have no friends? Like, oh, someone has to say it. I have no friends. I've never met a transgender person. Like, I just have a question for y'all, and I mean this seriously. How is it possible that you could have a career like Candace Owens and have never met a transgender person? How is that possible? Now, I've met a lot of transgender people, and 100% of the transgender people I've met are cool as hell. You know, they love smoking weed and chilling and listening to music and playing video games and fucking, you know, all that. Like, fuck yeah, bro. Right? Like, that's cool as shit. So, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, she's never met a trans person that she didn't despise. Like, and that's weird. That's weird, you know, to never meet a person of a minority group that you don't despise. Like, what? That's weird. That's a weird thing to say. But let's keep going.
Narcissistic human beings. It's very obvious that they hate women, that they are misogynists at their core. I'm talking about men that put on lipstick and say, not only that they're a woman, mocking us to our faces.
One of my favorite parts about this, like, anti-trans bullshit is they forget that, like, transgender men even exist. I mean, so transgender people hate women because they pretend to be women, but half of transgender people are not doing that. They're women who are transitioning to become men, but I guess that's also misogynist, right? Because women are great, and why shouldn't, like, but anyway.
Saying, I'm a woman, I'm just like you, I can do whatever you want. But then taking it a step further and
wait, what?
That they're a woman, mocking us to our faces, saying, I'm a woman, I'm just like you, I can do whatever you want.
I'm just like you, I can do whatever you want? What is that? What?
When I'm just like you, I can do whatever you want.
Like, did she, like, is that like a Like, was that like a verbal typo?
Mocking us to our faces, saying, I'm a woman, I'm just like you, I can do whatever you want.
I'm a woman, I'm just like you, I can do whatever you want. I'm like, but okay, so let's imagine she said, I can do whatever I want. Even then, it doesn't make any sense. I can do whatever. So being a woman means you can do whatever you want? What? Like, women are allowed to rob banks? I'm curious, right? What does that mean? Like, I've never heard a transgender person say to a woman, which I guess in this instance, those are two different things. But like, I'm just like you. I can do whatever you want. Or again, let's just, sick, I can do whatever I want. It doesn't make sense either way. What does that mean? Like, I don't know what that means.
But then taking it a step further in their misogyny and demanding rights to things that we have, right? Saying not only am I you, I'm a better version of you. I will crush you in your sports. I will do everything that I can to ruin your career. If you think that there's something wrong with this, a la...
So again, sports is a dumb argument. All people are different. Again, let's look at Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps is only in his position. Yeah, he trained really hard, but his training yielded extremely more beneficial results in his sport of choice because of a very rare genetic mutation he had. Right? So we have all kinds of situations where cisgender women, they were born women, and they lived their entire life as women, and then they recently got banned from the Olympics because of anti-trans legislation that is like trying to define transgenderism as like having a certain amount of testosterone, which doesn't even make any sense because trans women take testosterone blockers. So that okay, but cisgender women have been banned from the Olympics for having higher levels of naturally occurring testosterone because of their genetics, which we can argue, does that put them at advantage or disadvantage? Who knows? Or how about this? Who cares? If you're excluding people in the women's category who are, by every definition you've provided, also a woman, just because they have high testosterone, like, I don't know, man. Doesn't seem like a good system. Seems like it's kind of fucking around a little bit. But also, like, I mean, like, again, what have transgender people ever done to Candace Owens? Like, I know what neo-Nazis have done to me. Neo-Nazis have tried to kill me. Neo-Nazis have attempted to assassinate me. Neo-Nazis have sicked dogs on me in the form of police officers. Neo-Nazis have doxed me. Neo-Nazis have tried to steal things from me. I know what neo-Nazis have done to me. But I'm genuinely asking, what have transgender people done to neo-Nazis? Like, why is Candace Owens so upset? Like, I'm just curious. Right? Like, if Candace Owens had to go through, even for a second, what someone like me has had to go through, I mean, she would crumble into a fucking, like, I don't even know. Like, she would crumble into antimatter, right? Her body would just, like, fold in on itself, right? Like, it's just weird. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing.
What's happened to J.K. Rowling and people demanding that she has her career stripped from her because she doesn't consent to this. She doesn't
Has anyone demanded that her career be stripped from her? What does that mean? How do you strip someone's career from them? J.K. Rowling works for herself. How can you strip someone's career away from them when they work for themselves? Like, what? Like, does she work somewhere? Like, I thought she wrote books. Like, I'm just genuinely, like, what does that mean? Like, one, can you point to anyone demanding that her career be stripped from her? And two, what the fuck does that even mean for someone who works by themselves and for themselves to have their career stripped from them? What does that mean? What does that fucking mean? I don't know what that means.
Consent to being made obsolete by this.
Obsolete? Wait, what?
She has her career stripped from her because she doesn't consent to this. She doesn't consent to being made obsolete by this insidious agenda.
Obsolete? Now, what does she know what the word obsolete means? So, okay. So, people that definitely exist are trying to strip someone's career away from them, even though they work for themselves, because this person doesn't want to become obsolete. Obsolete? Like, are transgender people are going to replace cisgender women? What is that? What does that mean, obsolete? Like, I'm trying to figure this one out. Obsolete. Does she know what that means? So transgender people, apparently, according to Candace, want to replace all women? What? What? Motherfuckers, we're less than 1% of the population. We're less than 1% of the population. Last I checked, 0.6% of the country identifies as transgender. I got news for you, okay? There's no plan or strategy to replace anybody, okay? And even if there was, it would be impossible. So, now, you know what obsolescence is, right? It's replacing something to the point where that thing is retired. So, to claim that transgender people want to replace real women or whatever, women in general or cisgender women, right? What would that mean? It would mean women are gone. It would mean they have been removed from society and replaced with something better. But what does removing people from a society, like, that's bad, right? So when transgender people ostensibly, allegedly, want to remove J.K. Rowling from society, that's bad. But why is it bad? Well, Candace Owens' logic, again, she doesn't speak in logic, she speaks in gibberish. But if she was speaking in logic, the logic would be, well, replacing people based on the fact that they're a woman, for example, they have an immutable characteristic, is bad. You can't replace someone based on sex or gender or race or whatever. That's bad, right? But then she's, like, at the same time also advocating to remove transgender people from society, saying all transgender people should be banned, whatever that means.
Right. Not only will I do all of this, but then I will start to march in your Capitol buildings and I will demand even more rights. I will demand the rights that we can start in the classrooms.
Wait. Okay, so they're demanding more rights. What does that mean, more rights? So, okay, there's a bill that's going to remove rights. People don't want that bill passed. They don't want that bill. Now, what does the bill do? It doesn't add rights. It removes them. Are the Trans Lives Matter, like, protesters in this instance, like what are they printing out another bill and forcing the members that are there to sign this bill that, like, says transgender people replace women in the world? Like, I'm just trying to figure this out. When did more rights become an option? Because it's never been. Now, obviously, transgender people want to have equal rights, right? Duh, obviously. And we are fighting against a Republican Party that wants to take our rights away. But now, according to them, that means that transgender people want more rights and also to replace half the population. Like, I mean, what?
Training up children to be brainwashed, to believe that they can pick their gender, to go under these procedures as young as possible, to go through with having their breasts removed. To
as young as possible. You know why they say as young as possible? Well, because one, what is possible? No one knows. And two, it's vague, undefinable. And three, it can also, the definition can change over time. So, like, the idea that an 8-year-old is getting their breasts cut off. Like, have you met 8-year-olds? Like, have you ever seen an 8-year-old? Like, how is that possible? How is it possible for an 8-year-old to get breasts removed? Can someone tell me? I mean, I'm just curious. Right, so they conflate and confuse a lot of different things here, and it's just, it's bonkers.
To do these hormone therapies. These people are demonic.
So now I will say, demonic, I'm in. I'm down to be demonic. That's cool as hell, bro. Demonic. Whoa. I mean, Jesus. It's the Satanic Panic round 2, motherfucker. Or is it round 20? I don't even know how many of these we had. I don't know, man. Like, yeah, a little scary. I mean, you know. These people have billions of dollars. And they, again, want to eradicate a minority group from existing. And they're spending billions of dollars in an effort to eradicate that minority group. A little interesting. But of course, this is no big deal. And no one cares. That's the thing about being trans in this country. Is that no one cares about you. I mean, it's the same thing with being every minority group. Right? Because each minority group doesn't have solidarity. Right? With other minority groups. So, you know, a lot of people do. Right? But we're talking about 51% of each minority group. They don't really give a shit about the other minority groups. Let's be honest. Now, again, some of them do. But a lot of them don't. Right? So you have a bunch of minority groups that are all extremely powerless. And they only care about themselves. Which, you know, you can say makes sense. You know, it's your immediate situation. You don't want to be exterminated, right? But again, there's also, you have people like Candace Owens, who happens to be black. And she hates other minorities. Why? For money, I guess. I don't know. Right? But you see a lot of this. You see a lot of this, like, intra-minority, like, hate against each other. And it's just strange. It's strange. And we're all sitting around yelling at each other over stupid-ass garbage while billionaires are going to steamroll us and murder us all. So, I mean, I think it's a little interesting. But demonic. I don't know. I'll take the demonic part. Like, that's pretty cool. I self-identify as demonic. But again, yeah, these people are fucking freaks, though. I mean, seriously. But yeah, no one gives a shit about you. No one cares about you. No one ever will care about you. That's the thing. If you're a transgender, you need to understand this. Because your life is going to be a lot easier once you realize this. Trust me. No one is going to save you. No one wants to save you. You are on your own. And this advice also applies to any other minority group, but especially transgender people. You are on your own. Now, again, other transgender people, you know, we should theoretically be looking out for each other. But, I mean, have you seen transgender support groups? I mean, a lot of them, I mean, let's just be honest, they're not that good. Because transgender people, let's be real, we are traumatized every day of our lives. We are going through undue amounts of stress and trauma, and it turns it into a position where everyone's yelling at each other and hates each other and is afraid of each other for reasonable reasons. Again, every day of our lives is traumatic. Waking up is traumatic. Just leaving the house is traumatic because everyone in the world wants to kill us. So it makes perfect sense that a lot of transgender spaces end up with people yelling at each other over stupid garbage, because when you're highly stressed, you're easy to snap. It's a big problem. And you know that, I don't know. I don't really have a grand point here. I mean, it's fucking scary. I don't know what to tell you. Pretty fucking scary. Like, not good. I don't know. I look at this stuff and I'm like, yikes! How much is that plane ticket out of the country? Pretty fucking scary. But there you go.